A cupcake with bright frosting appears against a white background. It hops forward and gasps as it discovers 3 muffin pans that exactly look like braille cells. 7 more brightly colored cupcakes appear. At the whistled command of the original cupcake, hop into the various muffin holes to form the braille letters TBK. The muffin tins are replaced by the Blind Kitchen logo, green braille letters TBK on a white background. Fade to black.
Hello, and welcome to The Blind Kitchen. I'm your host, Deborah Erickson, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the bench scraper.
Deborah is wearing cinnamon roll earrings. She is wearing a white chef coat, a forest green apron with the Blind Kitchen logo.
Your bench scraper is a piece of smooth plastic. It's roughly 7 inches by 5 inches and shaped sort of like a rectangle. It serves 3 purposes. One is to divide doughs into sections. The second is to be able to scoop and transfer small pieces of food from one area to another. And the third function, it can serve as a scraper to scrape the inside of a large bowl. This tool, the bench scraper, is very adaptive for us who have little or no vision for a couple of reasons. First of all, you've probably seen a traditional bench scraper. It's approximately the same size, but those models are made of metal. They're perfectly rectangular, and they have a handle on one long side. Those are fine, but they can actually cut you. That steel edge is very sharp. This particular bench scraper has a design that is roughly a rectangle. It has 2 straight edge sides that meet at a 90-degree corner. But what makes this one different is that it is curved on the other side, and that helps the blind and visually impaired cook in a unique way. Also, as you're examining your bench scraper, notice that all of the edges have a beveled design. They're not abrupt. It's a beveled design, much like a dustpan, to allow the food, when you go to scrape under it, so you can transfer small pieces of food to a bowl, they don't have to jump the curb to get onto the surface. They just slide right up, just as they would a dustpan. The second reason this was selected for the Blind Kitchen is because it is not perfectly rectangular. And what that allows me to do is, if I am putting it down to scrape up small pieces of food, my hand can actually conform to that curve, and my fingers can come in further onto it so that I know what I'm doing. I always feel like the closer my hands are to the food, the better I know what is going on. So the other reason it has a beveled edge is, let's say I'm cutting up parsley or garlic or onion or any larger food into small pieces. To try and pick those up by hand and put them into a bowl would take a long time. But with the bench scraper, you can use it to corral the food. And then, because it has the beveled edge, sort of like a dustpan, the food doesn't have to jump over a curb to get onto it. It can just slide up the little beveled hill, and you use your other hand to trap it on the other side. And now you have a good-sized surface to transfer your smaller ingredients to your target dish. The other thing this curved edge design benefits blind and low vision people is that it can be used to contour as a bowl scraper. I could use a traditional spatula made of silicone or rubber, but the handles are roughly 10 inches long, and if my fingers are holding the handle, it puts me pretty far away from that rubber blade that is actually touching the food. With this bench scraper, I hold it, put the curved end, which will contour to the curves of the bowl, and I can actually use it to manage the food, to get it out of the bowl without actually getting my fingers in the food. But I feel so much more comfortable because my fingers are so much more close to the action. I feel like I'm more in control of what I'm doing. Carrying and storing your bench scraper is relatively straightforward. It's made of a high-quality plastic that is food safe, and it can be run through the dishwasher, or you can wash it by hand if you prefer. And the nice thing about this particular tool is that because it's not made of steel like its cousin, you can store it with any of your other kitchen utensils without fear of cutting yourself. Thank you for being a member of the Blind Kitchen community. We are striving to make sure that you're not just scraping by in your culinary efforts. Happy cooking.
She smiles towards the camera. Fade to black. The Blind Kitchen logo appears. Fade to black. Neo Creative Productions logo appears. The logo fades to black.